Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage dōTERRA founding executive and general counsel, Mark Wolfert.
Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay home.
Well, hello everyone. Good afternoon. You know, yesterday Rob Young embarrassed a bunch of his partners with those pictures, and then he got to introduce his first grandchild that was born on Tuesday, and that was great. We congratulate Rob for that. But not to be outdone, I have here with me my 9th grandchild. This is Harvey Wolfert, and he is 4 months old, and he's a little stud. Okay, Grandma. He loves his grandma. I have an announcement that you'll all want to pay attention to. As you know, our wonderful convention kits, there's been a limit on how many people can buy from each account. We are going to lift that limitation at 4 o'clock today. So, if you don't have your convention kit yet, you might want to place your order. Okay. You know, we all have our why, or we're on a path to discover our why. That little boy with me, that's one of my whys. But we have our whys on why we choose to affiliate with the people, the causes, the companies, and the products that we do. Why are you associated with dōTERRA and here at this dōTERRA convention? Why did you initially come to dōTERRA, and why are you still here? For many of us, it's the essential oils, the dōTERRA CPTG certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils, and the great they do around the world and how they change lives for good. For others, their why may be the opportunity to associate with other good, like-minded people in the dōTERRA family, and for the opportunity to learn from them and to mentor them and work alongside them in a cause that they believe in. There's also dōTERRA's compelling co-impact sourcing initiative, which focuses on making a positive difference in the lives of farmers and harvesters and distillers who all contribute to dōTERRA's oil production. For me, it's all of these things combined with dōTERRA's Healing Hands Foundation and how we are able to serve our fellow man, woman, and child together to rescue, to lift and empower, liberate, and to minister to those who are in need all around the world. This is my why. This is what excites me to get up every morning and come to work. And also, it's gratifying for me, as it probably is for you, to witness others finding their own why and discovering their own true identity as they participate in the dōTERRA Healing Hands mission. So, today, I'm just going to give you an update on some of the activities and goals of the dōTERRA Healing Hands Foundation from the last year. To begin, we're excited to show you the new dōTERRA Healing Hands Foundation website that went live earlier this month. You are going to love this, I promise you. It is a great source of information and a fantastic tool. Have you ever wished you could go to one place and find out everything about what's happening with the dōTERRA Healing Hands Foundation? This is it. You will be able to see the many projects that we're involved with, including stories and pictures. It will also help you walk through a much simpler step-by-step process to apply for matching funds for your own Healing Hands projects. You can use this site to donate to the Healing Hands General Fund or direct your donation perhaps to one of the matching campaigns. But we're confident that this will be a website and a resource that you'll go to often, that you'll be proud to share with others. It's got a new look, a new logo. I think you've seen it the last couple days as we've shown this logo. So please go visit dōTERRAhealinghands.org. Now, we are committed, as we've said in the past, to being totally transparent with you regarding our dōTERRA Healing Hands Foundation, the activities as well as donations, expenses. You can also access this online in our annual report. In 2017, as you can see, over $5 million was raised. Thank you. And it's estimated that we will receive over $6.6 million by the end of this year. The foundation continues to grow. Thank you for your continued generous donations. And thanks to dōTERRA International, who pays for 100% of the administrative overhead costs of the foundation. Thank you, dōTERRA, and thank you, dōTERRA advocates. What this does is it allows the Healing Hands Foundation to focus on its mission to free lives from disease and poverty, and to empower individuals and communities with the tools that they need to become self-reliant. So I'd like to update you now on some of the projects that we're excited to share with you from this year. I'd like to introduce you first to another exciting project that we're doing in Park City, Utah. Let's roll this film.
We have currently 15 beds, and now we'll have 60. So it literally quadruples the capacity that we have on our campus, which will make a tremendous difference in better meeting the needs in our community here in Summit and Wasatch County.
Well, Kendra, listen, on behalf of dōTERRA and the Healing Hands Foundation, I just want to express to you our gratitude for allowing us to be a part of what you're doing here. It's our wellness advocates are very excited. They'll continue to be very excited about what this facility is going to be able to provide for this community, particularly for women and children. The Healing Hands Foundation is pleased to help fund the construction of this very important and much needed facility in Park City, Utah. It's meant for the survivors of domestic violence. The Peace House will be a secure facility which will have 8 emergency housing shelter units with flexible configurations to accommodate a variety of families. There will also be 12 self-sufficient suites that will be intended to provide stability for the people there between 6 and 24 months of occupancy. Peace House will also provide support services. It'll have a support group room, a child care center, a peace room, a classroom, an outdoor courtyard, and it'll have a client boutique where residents can shop for clothes and shoes and other essential items which are donated by the community, but which are free to the occupants. What I love about the Peace House, it will quadruple the number of units from 15 to 60 that are currently available for survivors of domestic abuse in the Summit and Wasatch counties.
Call from unknown.
and the fear and the cultural beliefs that are associated with leprosy discourages many from even seeking treatment. As leprosy affects the nerves of an infected individual, it can lead to a loss of sensation and injuries that often go unnoticed, infection leading to amputation, deformities to the face, reabsorption of limbs, skin ulcers, and blindness. Those with leprosy are often sent away, and in India, they're considered the lowest caste, the untouchables. So even when cured of leprosy, the nerve damage is irreversible. Therefore, early detection is crucial. The dōTERRA Healing Hands Foundation has recently become associated with and begun providing funds to a humanitarian organization that addresses the stigma of leprosy by offering treatment to those affected as well as supporting their families. This organization, Rising Star, helps with economic rehabilitation and self-sufficiency, and with education and medical clinics, including mobile medical units. The Healing Hands Foundation has provided funds for a mobile medical unit to reach patients who live too far away from a clinic. We're also providing funding to Rising Star for medicine and medical supplies, sterilization equipment, as well as what they call microcellular rubber footwear, which helps prevent further injuries and protects against these ulcers that can lead to amputations. Additionally, and this is important, we are excited to partner with Rising Star in a promising research study, which will provide further hope, insights, and solutions to individuals suffering from leprosy. Stay tuned on that. Now, convention last year saw Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria in close succession. Since then, there have been additional storms and earthquakes, flooding, fires, volcanoes, and even some tragic shootings. And through it all, the dōTERRA Healing Hands Foundation has been in the unique position to provide assistance by sending our 72-hour emergency relief hygiene kits that have been purchased by you and donated to the Healing Hands Foundation to aid in these kinds of emergency situations. Thank you. As many of you know, dōTERRA also donates the profits from the sale of these kits to the Healing Hands Foundation for use in relief efforts where maybe cash is better used and needed. The Healing Hands Foundation has donated dōTERRA breathe products to ease breathing, emotional aromatherapy oils for comfort and stress, water, food, mattresses, masks, you name it, first aid supplies, and other dōTERRA products. What excites me the most often, it is you, our wellness advocates, who mobilize your teams and communities to assess the needs, and then you distribute the supplies. We commend you for those efforts. Thank you. Whether it's through purchasing the emergency relief hygiene kit or being on the ground to hand a kit or supplies to someone in need. And last week, anticipating that there would be some problems coming on the East Coast, we all had a lot of notice of that. We sent over 5,000 of these kits to our warehouse in Atlanta so that we can be immediately ready to respond to requests from the Carolinas and the Virginias in there with Hurricane Florence. And in fact, as of yesterday, we already had over a dozen wellness advocates distribute over 2,000 of these hygiene kits in the Carolinas. So thank you. There's another video we want to watch. Let's roll that. While there isn't time to acknowledge all of the actions of all of those who helped in emergency relief situations or the ongoing efforts afterwards, we would like to make particular mention of the volcano eruption in Guatemala on June 3rd. Can you believe those pictures? That destruction was instant and it was devastating. Guatemala, as you know, is where we source cardamom, a key ingredient in dōTERRA Breathe products. The distillery where cardamom seeds are processed is located on the slopes of the Fuego volcano and miraculously did not suffer any significant damage. However, most of the distillery workers and their families live in the surrounding villages which were evacuated. Thankfully, no lives were lost, although many lost family members, and many are still in shelters or have been relocated because they can't yet return to their homes. So an initial donation was made immediately to distribute supplies and was organized on the ground by some of our sourcing partners and our friends at Mentors International. An assessment of the ongoing needs has shown that the main problem for villagers now is access to water. The pipe supplying the neighboring communities was destroyed during the eruption, causing water shortages and sanitary problems for the villagers. And frankly, it's preventing them still from returning their homes from the shelters. So thanks to contributions by many of you to a Guatemala matching campaign, we're pleased to report that the Healing Hands Foundation is restoring access to water by installing a mechanical well, which will provide access to up to 1,000 families in several villages by connecting a pipeline with water going directly to their homes. We're also funding the reconstruction of many of the roofs that were damaged by hot volcanic ash and are helping with counseling of traumatic children. I just love this picture of this little girl waiting for her water. What a joy it is and what gratitude we feel when we know we can do these sorts of things to help our friends and neighbors around the world, especially those where we are sourcing our precious oils. Since last convention, we have continued our ongoing support of the CCAP Training Center in Guatemala with the continuation of a literacy program for women, as well as clean stoves, stove maintenance, latrines, a water system for the Chulak community, and a suspension bridge. You'll see the picture here on the right, to help children cross the river and travel safely to school. Previously, especially during the rainy season, children would have to either brave dangerous river currents or just stay home from school. So how wonderful that is, thanks to you that we're able to help them with that. So moving on, besides Guatemala, there are Healing Hands humanitarian projects in Albania, Bulgaria, Haiti, Kenya, Madagascar, Nepal, and Somaliland, and there are others in the planning stages and development. These are all places where dōTERRA sources its CPTG certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils, which makes it all the sweeter to know that we're helping people where we source our oils. Let me just quickly update you on some of these projects from the last 12 months. We'll start with Albania. The Healing Hands Foundation made a donation to the new co-impact sourcing area of Albania. Public schools there seldom experience improvements or upgrades to their facilities, and so, in fact, the bathrooms are often neglected. So if a school even has an indoor bathroom there, it may not have running water, it may not have sufficient toilets for the student populations, or separate facilities for boys and girls. So consequently, it's often the female students who directly or indirectly are discouraged from attending school. Families often struggle to send their daughters to school, and thus issues of hygiene and sanitation further contribute to a gender gap in education. We're looking forward to seeing the renovated bathrooms at these schools in Albania. In 2016, the dōTERRA Healing Hands Foundation has been active in Bulgaria, home to dōTERRA, our farming support and distilling operation that's based in dōTERRA near the Black Sea. Many of you have been there. Raise your hand, let us know if you've been to the distillery, dōTERRA. Okay, we all hope, over the years, we hope more of you have a chance to go there. We began in Bulgaria by collaborating with the Social Tea House, which is an organization that's dedicated to creating equal opportunities for children in Bulgaria as they, quote unquote, age out of the orphanage system. This provides children between the ages of 14 and 18 with personal and professional and job skills training. Otherwise, they just are back lost in the street and in the system, and they don't have an opportunity to provide for themselves or become profitable contributing members to their families and society. And so we've been able to expand our projects in Bulgaria to include playground renovations, scholarships, and a mentorship program, and involvement with the children's milk canteen in dōTERRA. Let me tell you about this. The milk canteen, the name's kind of a misnomer, but it's a program that specializes in children's health care and provides meals for children 10 months to 3 years of age, with almost 1,200 meals being prepared daily for these children. So the Healing Hands has donated funds to purchase a van for neighborhood deliveries and to update the canteen's kitchen equipment and to renovate the bathroom facilities. Additionally, we funded projects at the dōTERRA Community Center for the playground and the sound system, as well as renovated bathrooms at a dōTERRA Children's Orphanage. Now, in the Marjoreni village of Kwale County, Kenya, at the Mwamose Primary School, the dōTERRA Healing Hands Foundation is helping to provide 3 water tanks to supply clean water to the 950 students there. You see, collecting water in this area is a task that's done mostly by women and children and can require traveling long distances through desolate areas where they're vulnerable to animal or human attacks. So this will really help them be able to source their water a lot easier without the danger of collecting that. Moving on, in the remote area of Nosy Bay, Madagascar, healthcare is difficult to come by. The dōTERRA Healing Hands Foundation provides funding for a mobile health clinic for 10 village communities with a local doctor, visiting each village twice a week and to see patients there right in their homes. Before this time, they just didn't have access to health care. And so additionally now, a health officer is chosen from each village and is provided with first aid kits and dōTERRA products and training in the use of these resources. Now, as many of you know, the dōTERRA Healing Hands Foundation has made significant contributions in Nepal since the earthquakes of Nepal of 2015. How many of you have had a chance to visit Nepal with us on one of our trips? Thank you. As you know, the contributions there have included relief and rebuilding efforts, the construction of schools, community centers, hospitals, and clinics, such as the hospital here pictured in Makwanpur, which was completed this year. Many of you have been there to help us in these efforts. And since convention last year, additional funding was provided for a community center and a cooperative meeting house in DōLAKA, some heating birthing rooms at the hospital in Palung, and a healthcare center in Ramachamp, which will give more than 15,000 people to have access to medical care. Are you starting to get a feel for what this small little company that started 10 years ago is being able to do now around the world? I mentioned earlier that 30% of the foundation's funds last year went toward projects with our official corporate partners. I want to say how grateful we are for these remarkable organizations and the miracles that they perform in their respective missions. Healing Hands is very fortunate to be able to work with these humanitarian organizations, as well as I'm just going to call them extraordinary individuals who run them, some of whom you'll meet here in a few minutes. I'm going to quickly highlight some of the projects that we've partnered with them on this year. If you've been with us for a while, you know that Mentors International was not only our first corporate partner, but they received the first donation made ever by dōTERRA Healing Hands Foundation. And so to date, you've donated almost $2 million to Mentors International for small business loans to hardworking entrepreneurs who need help in starting or expanding their family businesses. These donations have gone toward microloan funds in Guatemala, Peru, Ghana, and the Philippines. And since our last convention, a new loan fund has been established in Nepal. Additionally, we've expanded into a third area in Peru and have opened a second area in northern Ghana, as well as adding to the loan funds in Guatemala and the Philippines. So to date, even though $2 million has been donated, $5.6 million has been dispersed in loans and repaid in these areas since our partnership began. Thank you very much. At convention last year, we were joined by many of you and our corporate partner, Days for Girls, to set the Guinness World Record for the most personal hygiene kits assembled in 1 hour, with 5,100 kits being assembled. And as you recall, we ran out of materials. That record was set in like 45 minutes. Since then, more than 1 million women and girls have been empowered with the menstrual health solutions and education needed for a lifetime of dignity and health and opportunity. We continue to support the great work of Days for Girls, whether that's working to end the chapati tradition in Nepal or opening a new sewing center and office in Guatemala. And we look forward to helping liberate millions more women and girls. Another one of our corporate partners in the fight against human trafficking takes a preventative approach in their work. Three Strands Global and its online Protect program provides education and training curriculum to students and their teachers to help avoid and prevent exploitation. The dōTERRA Healing Hands Foundation is funding access for all Utah teachers in a 3-year statewide rollout of this Protect anti-trafficking curriculum. The Alpine, if you're from Utah, you know the Alpine and Granite school districts are already engaged in this program, which again helps to raise awareness and implements protocols that manage the process for relief once a trafficking victim has been identified. On this picture, Ashley Bryant, she's the president and CEO of Three Strands Global. She joined with us at a press conference last April in Salt Lake City as part of our 10-year anniversary celebration. And so with Ashley and then Sean Reyes, Utah's Attorney General, we announced the launch of the Protect program in Utah. You see, California has already implemented this program a number of years ago with measurable and objective markers to be able to really tell whether the students and teachers are learning and benefiting. And the success in California has been overwhelming. And so we're excited about the potential, not just in California and Utah, but to help Three Strands eventually expand that Protect program to other states. You know, our human trafficking efforts really are a three-legged stool. There's the rescuing, of course, there's the aftercare, but there's also the prevention. How much better would it be to prevent the abuse in the first place? So speaking of Sean Reyes, I'm going to get a little help from him and another friend to introduce our next partner. Let's roll the film.
Team dōTERRA, welcome to the great state of Utah. I'm Attorney General Sean Reyes, and I want to thank you, first of all, for coming here and for creating such an incredible movement of health and wellness. dōTERRA offers opportunities to people of all walks of life. Something that I feel passionately about is fighting against the modern scourge of human trafficking. It's modern day slavery. dōTERRA is a supporter of Operation Underground Railroad, and I have a vest from one of the operations that we recently did in Haiti. And so I want to thank dōTERRA for supporting the mission of organizations like Operation Underground Railroad. And it's through organizations like dōTERRA, your commitment, your passion, your humanity for lifting others, that we can really make a difference in the fight against human trafficking.
I am lucky to be a daughter of parents who immigrated from Haiti. I am lucky to be raised and born here in the United States. So being able to work with dōTERRA and OUR to help children that are suffering, to be able to work with them and save some of these kids, not just save them, but give them hope for the opportunities for really good life and care after they've been these victims of these horrific acts is really quite inspiring. I'm so proud of dōTERRA being able to go in and help fund these Rafa houses and help fund these places where they can go and be able to get some sort of normal life again. This is not just about work. It's about us using our gifts and our talents to help those, not just in our community and our country, but around the world.